Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! It's time!
What is going on, everybody? What up? How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday to you all. We are now live here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, August the 5th, 2025. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Share it throughout your entire social media platform, wherever it is that you guys share your wrestling content with your loved ones, your friends, your family, your in-laws, whatever the case may be. Wherever it is you share your wrestling content, buddy, spread the love. That's all I'm saying. But what is going on, everyone? Let me get this fixed real quick. There you go. We are so back. What's up, everyone? How's everybody doing? It's me. It's Steve. This is the second time this channel is going live because early in the day, the good brother, Chase Oliver, brought back Chilling with Chase, which was live here on the channel early in the day. So at 11 a.m., 8 a.m. Pacific, he was live here on the channel. He gave his thoughts on SummerSlam 2025, his thoughts on Brock Lesnar being back, Seth Rollins cashing in, of course, Cody Rhodes being now a two-time WWE champion. If you've not checked that out, guys, go give that a watch / listen. However it is that you consume this content, whether you're watching, what we're saying, or you're listening, whatever it may be, feel free to do all that stuff. Share with all your friends. And now here you are with me now, good old me. with me giving my thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What's going on, Brandon Brown? I see the vision. ATP, Steve, and the gang. What's going on? What's going on, brother? Hope all is well with you. My voice still sounds like shit coming out of SummerSlam, but hey, this is what happens when you go to a wrestling show and you start screaming and going crazy and shit. So it is what it is. I just hope I get better by the time I fly out to Europe. But outside of that, look, last night's Monday Night Raw, I'm gonna be honest with you. It didn't do much for me. It didn't do much for me. Yeah, I feel like Brian Danielson when it comes to WrestleMania 30. Like, it did nothing for me. I was expecting something crazy. Now, when I mean something crazy, let me elaborate. It is the Raw after SummerSlam, right? SummerSlam is obviously WWE's second biggest show of the year, right? Following WrestleMania. And normally, the two big Raws are normally the Raw after WrestleMania and the Raw after SummerSlam. So you're expecting something like crazy, like, wow, considering what happened at SummerSlam, right? Considering what went down on Saturday night with Seth Rollins cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase on CM Punk at the end of SummerSlam Saturday. And, of course, John Cena deciding to, go up against Cody Rhodes. Not just decided to, but, you know what I mean? Like, they went at it again, and we all thought, a lot of us did, this was better than their first match at WrestleMania. And, of course, the return of Brock Lesnar showing up and F5ing Cena and causing havoc and causing the IWC to have an uproar. Now, I did mention only a few moments ago, Chase on Chilling with Chase gave his thoughts on all that. And I also gave my thoughts on all that on Steve's Kitchen from yesterday. If you've not checked that out as well, go give that a watch. I give you guys my overall thoughts on SummerSlam as someone who was there live in the stadium, and as well as my thoughts on Brock Lesnar returning and my thoughts on the IWC just giving their reaction to the situation. Let's put it that way. And I know Chase on Sunday gave an honest review of SummerSlam Sunday. So SummerSlam Night 2, he did a review. I joined near the end, and I, was only there for a little bit. I was tired, but I let the boys finish on that one. But also here on Steve's Kitchen, I was also joined by Romeo as we both gave our perspective of being there live in the stadium for SummerSlam. So there's that. But I'll be honest with you, man. I thought Raw last night, I wasn't feeling it, man. I just really wasn't. There's some stuff that was all right, but other than that, like, yeah, did nothing for me. And it kind of sucks because, again, Raw last night was in Brooklyn, New York. Everyone knows, like, Brooklyn, New York as a whole is a very, very passionate wrestling city. And whether it's the Barclays Center, whether it's Madison Square Garden, hell, dare I even say, UBS Arena, Arthur Ashe, the Manhattan Center, wherever there's a wrestling show in New York, the fan base will be passionate, will be rabid, are just crazy to consume wrestling, entertainment, whatever you want to call it. And I felt like that didn't happen. For me, at least, right? And if you felt like Raw was good, if you thought Raw was amazing, I don't know what the fuck you were watching. But what I saw, just wasn't feeling it. I was expecting more. I was expecting more like surprise, shock value. Nothing at all. But let me know your thoughts in the chat. How did you feel about Monday Night Raw? What did you like? What did you not like? And maybe you liked something, who knows? But the show opened up, obviously, with a video recap of SummerSlam, right? Everything that went down, obviously, on Saturday and Sunday. And like I mentioned before, with, obviously, Seth Rollins cashing in on CM Punk, John Cena and John Cena and Cody Rhodes going at it at SummerSlam, and of course, the return of Brock Lesnar, the return of Brock, and all that. That's how they opened the show. And then they had Michael Cole and Corey Graves welcome the audience before they transition into that opening segment, which, of course, as you expect, it was the new World Heavyweight Champion. It was Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. They're in the ring, and they cut a promo where Heyman said that he was humbled for being alongside the talent that were in the ring. And he put over each one. He put over, obviously, Braun Breaker, who is the future of the business, right? Someone who's protecting the dog pound and stuff like that. And again, just someone who you need to keep an eye on for the future. And from there, he went on to acknowledge Bronson Reed, who is the tribal thief. And he called the shoes around Bronson Reed's neck as the Shula Fall, which I thought was funny. I ain't gonna lie, I cracked up for that one. And then he obviously introduced Seth Rollins. And then Rollins got on the microphone and said, shame on every single one of the fans who went at him for months, saying the lesson was never doubt him again. Never doubt him again. Being that, look, he worked everybody. He worked everyone about his so-called injury. It was all work this entire time. He went on to say that only two people knew about the situation. His hot wife, who of an Intercontinental Champion, that being Becky Lynch, and Paul Heyman, before declaring this was his vision. And basically from here also, they announced the new name of the group, which we've all kind of known for a hot minute. You knew going in that they were going to be known as the Vision. The Vision. Which, look, it took them this long to come up with the name. I have no clue why. Okay? That being said, if I'm Braun Breaker, I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't tell us. I would feel some kind of way. And maybe they'll lean into that later on, right? But outside of that, like, look, it's every single opening Seth Rollins promo to open Monday Night Raw. And it's like, all right, bro, what else is new at this point? I hope your day is going good, bro. Thank you, Weston. I appreciate that. All I know is Sami Zayn is cooked, bro. They're treating him like a mid-card Cena. They should realize it's okay for a face to do heel stuff sometimes. We'll get into it in just a little bit. We'll get into that. So just hang on tight on that one. And then after this, LA Knight interrupted Rollins by challenging him for a title match tonight. After all, he was the last person to defeat Rollins before his injury at Saturday night's main event, which is very true. So by virtue of him beating him at Saturday night's main event, he is due a championship match. He should be next in line, which Seth Rollins did not want to accept. And then Adam Pearce showed up and basically is disappointed that Rollins' medical staff did not tell the truth to Pearce's and the Raw medical staff. And because of all this, because it's in Brooklyn, it is the Raw After Summerslam. They keep mentioning that. They keep saying that. Adam Pearce kept saying that the entire fucking night. It is the Raw After SummerSlam. We are going to have a world championship match. It will be Seth Rollins. I almost said Braun Breaker. I know. It will be Seth Rollins defending the championship against LA Knight. And here's the kicker. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker banned from ringside. Banned. Completely banned from ringside. So that was the match for later on in the night. And as you guys know what happened by now, if you all thought that LA Knight was going to walk out of there the world heavyweight champion, well, all I can say to you is
congratulations.
You've been worked. Yeah, you've been worked. You all got worked. So like all of us who thought Rollins was hurt.
Congratulations.
You've been worked. Yeah, big time. Big time. From there, we saw the Judgment Day confronted the LWO backstage, in which Dragon Lee challenged Dominic Mysterio. As you all know, Dominic Mysterio, he is still your Intercontinental Champion. And also factor into Dragon Lee and Dominic Mysterio are both part of that fatal four-way match happening in a couple of weeks at Triple Mania for AAA Worldwide for the Mega Championship. It will be obviously El Hijo del Vikingo defending the Mega Championship against Dominic Mysterio versus El Grande Americano versus Dragon Lee. So they did mention that too. So you want to give some promotion to the match. So let these two guys who are in the match go at it, which I'll get into in a little bit as well. From there, we did see AJ confronting Dominic in the same segment backstage, confronting him and said that, you know what? He got him. Dominic Mysterio got AJ good at SummerSlam when he hit him when he loosened up his boot, he unzipped his boot, and AJ went for the calf crusher. Basically similar to what Eddie Guerrero did to Kurt Angle WrestleMania 20 when his boot went out flying and Kurt Angle got rolled up by Eddie. Only this time Dominic used the boot and attacked AJ as a weapon. He hit AJ with the boot. He used the boot as a weapon to hit AJ. And that's how he got the win, right? So AJ's admitting, hey, you got me good, but I am still coming for that Intercontinental title. So it's not over as long as Dominic and AJ goes. There's a chance that AJ probably does walk out with the championship. Maybe you run it back in Paris. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But after this, we got Rusev versus Sheamus. And all I'm going to tell you, bro, this match, I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to play a clip here to just simply define what Sheamus and Rusev was at the Barclays Center.
Exactly. No pop.
No fucking pop. No one gave a fuck. No one cared. Like, Rusev came back, and it's like, bro, there was someone in the stands, and I don't know how many of you heard it, but there's someone in the stand that was saying you should go back to AEW, some shit like that. I'm sorry, it's not working. I'm pretty sure, as well as many others out there, had different expectations when Rusev made his return to WWE. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who were looking at this and saying, man, you know what? This might just work. This might be something here, right? There's a chance. You got to give it time. And we have. And all he's been doing is working with Sheamus. I thought the match last week was better than this for the most part, or the match from 2 weeks, whatever it was better than this. But it was just two big guys beating each other up. I think the match went about what? Under 10 minutes, and it ended in a double countout. And basically throughout the night, these two guys were just beating each other up. That's what it was. These two guys just beating each other up, right? And throughout the night, backstage area, Sami Zayn in some way, in shape or form got involved, and it was, damn, they dragged Sami Zayn into this shit. Like, it was so fucking stupid. And again, you would think, okay, it's the Raw after SummerSlam. We are at the Barclays Center. We are in New York. We are in the Northeast. And I've said this for years. And I don't care who gets upset by this. The Northeast, we are the most passionate fan base when it comes to wrestling in this country. Sorry. It's just the truth. Sorry, Pacific Northwest. Sorry, West. Sorry, South. Sorry, Southwest. Just saying. Sorry, Midwest. But, we are the most passionate, rabid fan base. And just no one gave a fuck about this match. And you would have thought, hey, knowing what I just mentioned, they're going to stack up this show. They're going to literally go out there, hey, it's the Raw After SummerSlam, right? Let's stack up this show. Because let's be honest, in a couple of weeks, it's going to be football season, NFL. And everyone knows when NFL is on Mondays, WWE plays second fiddle. And people are going to choose the NFL over the WWE. Just happens. Just happens. It's like WWE right now, at this point, they're going to be coasting until they get until probably Survivor Series for the most part. Yeah, every time Rusev music hits, Rusev music hits, I ask myself, who is it? Even my girlfriend pointed out Rusev has no charisma. Well, she said passes. That's what she meant. It felt more like AEW Dynamite than Raw After Summer. Yeah, pretty much, bro. It felt like the Dynamite after All In. That's what it felt like. Pretty much. And even that too, like, honestly, the music needs to fucking change. These songs suck. I'm sorry. Like, look, I'm not saying play back his old theme from like 2015, but we can do better. They can do so much better with the fucking music. But again, you know, you would have thought, let's stack up this show, put some big names here, right? Some big matches. But no one gave a fuck about Rusev and Sheamus. No one cared. No one fucking cared. After this, we saw Grayson Waller, who talked trash to the New Day, because the New Day are still mourning the fact that they've lost their tag team titles, right? And he's telling Adam Pearce that he should give the New Day a rematch for the tag title. And, you know, Pearce doesn't want to hear all that. Doesn't want to hear that at all. Does not want to hear that. And instead, because keep this in mind, as this was happening, Pearce was talking to Penta. So because of all this, Pearce booked Waller against Penta. Yes, that's the match we got. And look, I think it's cool that we saw Penta. Granted, it would have been cool to have seen Penta at SummerSlam, right? I even suggested this, and I don't know how many of you remember this from the preview or whatever it was. I said, you know what they could have done? They could have had Andrade get attacked before the TLC match, and in his replacement, you put in Penta, and you reunite the Lucha Brothers in this ladder match. Holy shit. What a good way to reunite the Lucha Brothers. Did they do that? No. But instead, we have Penta wrestling. Listen, again, it's Raw After SummerSlam. It's the Barclays Center. And you would think, hey, a big name. You know who they got? Grayson fucking Waller. Grayson fucking Waller. The match went about 8 minutes and 19 seconds. And look, happy to see Penta wrestle, but they can do better. They can do fucking better. This match, again, they're just going through the motions. Penta did pick up the win when it was all said and done. And then he basically took out the New Day by himself. So I would hope through this, hey, you know what? Penta needs a partner, someone to team up with. And look, in a perfect world, it would be, it would be Rey Fenix. But something tells me, you know what? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know how long Rey's still out with injury. But at this point, who is it going to be, right? I would hope is Rey Fenix, but we'll see where they go with that. What else happened here on the show? Naomi cut a promo where she bragged about her win at SummerSlam. And then she said Stephanie Vaquer was next on Clash in Paris, right? And I think somewhere in this, Stephanie Vaquer did interrupt her, right? To remind her that, hey, it's going to be them two in Paris. And I think also somewhere in this, Naomi referred to Stephanie Vaquer as Stephanie Velcro, which was, for what it was worth. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss came out to the ring to cut a promo, right? And again, it's like, it's crazy to think, right? How someone like Charlotte Flair, who in the beginning of the year was getting all these boos, right? Nobody wanted her on television. She had that go away heat. Now, all of a sudden, bro, everybody loves Charlotte Flair. Everyone's cheering for her. And good for her. Good for her. Thank you to Alexa Bliss. Right? And they're putting each other over. How they're tag team champions. And, this could go all the way. Hey, they could end up being friends. Right? One more thing, too. I think it's cool to finally see Charlotte Flair back on Monday Night Raw. So that's cool to see, too. And then out of nowhere, because again, they talked about the win at SummerSlam, and then Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez interrupted, and they demanded a rematch for the women's tag titles. And Adam Pearce once again walked out and said, hey, because it is the Raw After SummerSlam, there's that word again, it's make the match official. And the match, for the most part, I thought, honestly, the match from SummerSlam was better than this. This match went about 13 minutes and 51 seconds. But when it was all said and done, you kind of knew, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair were going to get the win, which they did, So that was cool to see. And look, again, I think it's cool to see Charlotte on Raw. Again, that's tag team champion. They're going to go to all three brands. So let's see what they end up doing. Here. You like Charlotte Flair, don't you, Squidward? Penta wrestling Waller was the most random wrestling match. Yeah, it was kind of random, wasn't it? Seth faking Rollins. Hey, I know, right? Fake, you fooled us all, man. Fucker, fooled us all. What can I tell you? And after this, we go to a backstage segment where we saw we saw Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors. They were having a conversation, right? And then Rhea Ripley interrupted, right? And I guess somewhere Asuka said, hey, your friend wanted to talk to you. And Ripley told Sky, to beat her. Because again, from the most part, it's going to be, I think, Naomi and Io Sky next week for the women's title, right? So Rhea Ripley told Io Sky to beat Naomi so that she could take back the belt. And then Io told Ripley that she would never beat her. So it's like they're cool with each other. Like, they're very good friends. But in the eyes of Io Sky, Rhea Ripley could never beat her. It happens. Like, hey, there's always someone out there that's just better than you. Like Rhea Ripley is good. We know she is. And we know that eventually she will end up beating Io Sky. And they're building on that moment. They're going to build on it. Give it time, but eventually when that happens, it's going to be crazy. Just that reaction. Oh, she finally beat the one person she couldn't beat. And that is obviously in Rhea Ripley's case is Io Sky. It reminds me a lot when Becky Lynch had trouble beating Asuka. You remember that? Like back in 2018, 2019, right? Becky Lynch could not beat Asuka, right? So again, we'll see how that ends up being. From there, we saw Bayley try to apologize to Lyra Valkyria. However, Valkyria told Bayley to stay away from her, right? So that's something that happened backstage. We saw Dominic Mysterio. We saw Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee. And again, you remember what I said earlier. They're doing this match just to hype up the fact that two of these guys are in that fatal four-way at Triple Mania for AAA Worldwide, right? And the match itself, it was basic lucha libre, right? Somewhere in this, it looked like Dragon Lee had a what, and they referenced the fact that they've had matches before, like in NXT when they were feuding for the North American Championship. But somewhere in this, El Grande Americano came out. And to cause distraction. And then out of nowhere, just like last week, someone in a lucha mask showed up, another Americano. And then another one showed up. And now people are saying it's Pete Dunne, it's Tyler Bate. You know what I'm saying right now? And I said this last week. I don't know how many of you remember this, but I'm going to say it again. WWE needs to see, and right now, in a time when everyone wants to get at WWE, I'm going to say this right now. WWE needs to get their security on point. You cannot have these fans dressed up in luchador masks vandalizing the ring. You cannot have these wild animals hopping over the barricade and invading and putting their lives at risk. It's so dangerous. It's not a game. It is not a fucking game. So seriously, WWE security, get your shit together. Get your fucking shit together. I'm serious. It's fucking ridiculous. Can't have people in masks showing up, hopping over the barricade, trying to be part of the show. Totally unacceptable. God damn it. But that's what happened, obviously. That's what happened. And Dominic Mysterio, of course, because of this, he ended up getting the win. He ended up getting the win. Right? So there was that. After this, like I mentioned before, they interviewed Naomi. Byron Saxton did, right? Yeah, they interviewed but Naomi was interviewed by Byron Saxton, and then Stephanie Vaquer interrupted, said that she would walk out of Clash of Paris with the title, and Naomi vowed to leave Vaquer with a limp. So there was that. Also, I didn't mention this too. While all this was happening, right? AJ Styles made the save for Dragon Lee. So there was that too. Likely it might be Dragon Lee and AJ teaming up with the LWO. Who the fuck knows, right? From there, we did see Sami Zayn, who's interviewed backstage. Greg, as you all know, he did have a win over Karrion Kross, right? He did have a win over Karrion Kross. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with Karrion Kross. It's been reported that he was not on Raw last night, nor him or Scarlett. And the reality is their contract expire this weekend. I'll be honest, I don't see them renewing. I don't. Or maybe they have. Who the fuck knows? But I just don't see it unless they're working the internet. Right? But at this stage of the game, bro, look, he's about to be champion in MLW. Just put it that way. Okay? But now, after all this was happening, the brawl of Rusev and Sheamus continued, and they bump into Sami Zayn. He gets involved too. Now, I know Weston posted this comment earlier, right? All I know is Sami Zayn is cooked, bro. They're treating him like a mid-card Cena. They should realize that it's okay for a face to do heel stuff sometimes. I don't think it's like they don't see what they have in him. I just think, look, we know he is going to be in those plans come the Royal Rumble as we get into the road to WrestleMania next year. We know he's in those plans. So for now, let's have him do something on the side, and then we'll get back to him chasing that World Heavyweight Championship. And I know he did mention the fact that, hey, Cody won the title, Punk won the title, then Rollins, and he, for him, it's a big deal. He wants to be in that mix, and he will be eventually. Just that you got to do something on the side. Look, remember, like Daniel Bryan, right? Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to call him. Remember, on his road to chasing the title, right, from the Authority and all that stuff, right? He had a little speed bump on the way, and that was Bray Wyatt, and they had that amazing match at Rumble 2014. He became a member of the family, right? And then they had that segment that eventually led to him, attacking Bray in the cage and everyone chanting yes. When that was done, he went back to the Authority. So all I'm saying is it's okay for Sammy to have this bump on the road. It's fine. He is going to be eventually in those plans. So I think people need to be patient. Okay. So after this, we saw JD and Finn Balor were interviewed, saying that the Judgment Day would recover after tonight, I think also Finn referenced the fact that Liv is training. She's recovering. She'll be back like in 8 to 9 months. So there's that. Weston writes here, all I know is El Gran Americano knows Shadow Clone Jutsu from Naruto. You can say that, but to me, bro, look, man, it's the fact that you have these wild animals, these fans hopping over the barricade, trying to make themselves part of the show. It's unacceptable. It's so unacceptable. And look, if I'm WWE, I would start telling security, yo, you know what? Stop being fucking sensitives. Start throwing some hands. Start throwing some hands. If these animals want to hop over the barricade, it's unacceptable. Daniel okay. I'm gonna just call you Daniel Garcia. Jade is nowhere near as good as Bianca, Naomi, or Roxanne. Okay. You have every right to say that. You're right to your opinion, buddy. Oh, yeah. Sami Zayn, aka Saudi Cena, is going to win the Rumble. I'm really confident he will. Exactly, bro. You gotta trust the process, bro. You gotta see the vision, man. See the fucking vision. From there, we did see Becky Lynch cut a promo in the ring. She said she was feeling all right after her match against Lyra Valkyria. However, she was interrupted by Nikki Bella. And I'm going to say this too. I don't know how many of you feel about her new theme. It's going to take me a while. I'm not big on it. It feels, and I know Chase said this, it feels like a game that you would see on Day of Reckoning. I can see that. It kind of reminds me a lot of Nick Aldis's theme from NWA. Just the guitar bass. But that's just me, of course. But she basically, she's interrupted by Nikki Bella. Bella said Lynch was a disappointment to her as a leader of the best women's division ever. And after going back and forth, Bella challenged Lynch to a match. And then Lynch struck down Bella with the title around her neck before leaving. But before all this even happened, there was that line. Obviously, Nikki Bella talked about how she was disappointed in Becky Lynch, what she's become. And, for Becky, she talked about how, she's the women's Intercontinental Champion. Her husband is the world champion. They are a power couple, and obviously Nikki could have had but then Becky's you could have had that, but now you can't see him anymore. Referencing the fact that at one time or another, Nikki Bella and John Cena were in a relationship. They were dating. At the kids say today, John Cena back in the day, he was clapping them cheeks. He was clapping her. You know what I mean? And they were engaged. They were going to get married, and it just never worked out. It happens. It happens. But that line and the way Becky said it, like, damn, bro. When I heard that line, I am not going to lie, bro. I literally, and look, shout out to Nikki Bella because she took it like a champion, yo. She took it like a champ. But when I heard that, I was like,
Oh, hell no. Finish him.
Or my favorite. She should have just went home. Like, yo, fuck this. I'm going to fuck home after hearing that line. But from the looks of it, it will end up now being Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. I would say sometime in Paris, obviously, for the title. Do I see Nikki Bella winning a championship in this run that she's currently is in right now? No. But if they want to give her like a title, fine. You know what I mean? Like little, hey, thank you for coming back and all this stuff. Like, I don't mind this run. I don't mind it at all. Like, you want to see what Nikki can do with this new crop of talent, right? It's the old established name in this new crop against this new crop of talent, right? So do I expect much from it? No, I don't. But we'll see what happens from this, right? From there, we did get Natalya backstage after what happened, confronting and challenging Becky Lynch backstage. However, Lynch accepted, but to face Maxine Dupree next week. So next week we are getting Becky Lynch against Maxine Dupree. I'm pretty sure somewhere in this Nikki Bella will get involved. And that'll lead to something. Yeah, I don't think Nikki can hang with today's women's division, to be honest, for a serious feud. And she's already getting cooked. Now I need to hear her rebuttal. That's the thing about it too, Weston. You want to hear how will Becky rebuttal, but it's going to be tough because after hearing that line, it's like, yo, how do you recover from that, right? But you want to see her try. You want to see. It's like when Punk had that back and forth with Gunther that 1 week, right, where Gunther just shut him up, and you wanted to see how Punk was going to rebuttal, and he did for the most part. I think Maxine is going to shock everyone next week. Brother, if that happens, holy shit. Doesn't hurt the dream, brother. Does not hurt the dream. Whatever you're having, brother, please send it my way. Send it my way. But from there, we did get the main event of the evening. We did get Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship in his first defense since winning the title from CM Punk against LA Knight, the same LA Knight who beat him at Saturday night's main event. In the match itself, it was going all right for the most part. Like, you know, it's bad when Cage Match gives this match the only match to go over a 5-point rating. Like, all the other matches, like Dominic and Dragon Lee got a 5.69 out of 10. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Roxanne and Raquel got a 5.62 out of 10. Penta and Grayson Waller got a 5.58 out of 10. And Rusev versus Sheamus got a 5.34. The show overall got a rating of a 5.63. I said this before. This is the Raw after SummerSlam. You're at the Barclays Center. What the fuck are we doing? You know? But this match, Rollins and LA Knight, despite how it ended, got a 6.45. And I'm not going to lie to you. There's a part of me that would have loved to have seen a shock. Like, wow, I did not see this one coming. You give LA Knight a win. And you let him hold it for 2 weeks. Whatever the case may be. But he dropped it back to Seth Rollins. I would have loved to have seen it. But I know they weren't really going to do it. Right? And what do you know? It ends in a disqualification. It ends in a disqualification. Why? Because CM Punk attacked Rollins, causing the match to be thrown out. And then after this, Breakker and Bronson Reed laid out Punk and LA Knight. So they do this thing where the Vision are outside of the ring, right? And they put the lower third in the bottom, and they're all like celebrating for what they did. And again, the lower third to tell you that Raw is over is on display. Right? And the next thing you hear is Roman Reigns' theme. And they did tell you that Roman Reigns was going to be there, just waiting on when. And he shows up, and it looks like, you know what, he's, trying to do something, but he gets attacked by Division to end the broadcast. And this was, I guess, their way of taking him out, because he is scheduled to go film Street Fighter. He's going to be out for a couple of months. And what do you know? Bronson Reed once again steals another pair of sneakers from Roman Reigns. This guy cannot catch a break. At this point, you might well have Roman Reigns show up in chancletas or barefoot at this point, the way this is going. But that is how they end Raw, right? Braun Breaker spears Roman Reigns, and then Bronson Reed hits him with all these tsunamis back, and just continue with the tsunami, and then obviously Seth Rollins with the stomp. And that's how they close Raw, with the Vision on top, Roman Reigns laid out, LA Knight laid out, and Punk laid out. I know there was footage later on between Punk and LA Knight and Roman Reigns, all of them going back and forth at each other for what happened. I'll be honest, if I have no issue if they want to do LA Knight versus CM Punk in a little mini feud. I'm fine with that. Because say what you want, like LA Knight is now in the mix after what happened. You got to put him in the mix for that World Heavyweight title, right? Even if it's just for what it is, like last night was just a one-off and that's it. I would keep him in the mix, right? But that was Raw overall. Again, Raw, honestly. Oh yeah, thank you, Romeo. Thank you. Yes, I forgot that. I'd be remiss if I almost did. God damn it. Thank you for reminding me. So somewhere in the night, they showed the video of Brock Lesnar. And pretty much the way this is, it's funny because if you guys recall, during the post show, Triple H did say that Cena requested to work with him. And then Michael Cole, when the video package was done, he said that he sat down with Nick Khan and Triple H. There's an interview, I guess. Like he sat down, he spoke to them. And they said, you know what? It was time. They reached out to Brock. A long time has passed. They reached out to Brock, and they said it was time for Brock to come home. It was time for Brock Lesnar to come back home. That's what he said, right? So that's basically the explanation. It's time for Brock to come back home, and Brock accepted. And not only that, but right now he is the top merch seller on WWE Shop. And I know that's going to upset all the snowflakes. That's going to upset the hashtag activist. Going to get them all upset. Oh, I'm so offended. I'm so hurt. I'm so offended. I'm so hurt. Brock Lesnar's moving merch. Boycotting WWE. I heard that one before. I wasn't invested either, Chief. I don't care about the title match. I like Rollins. Like Rollins ain't losing. He just won it. Roman, CM Punk, LA Knight, versus Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins. Hey, maybe so. You never know. Still no explanation how LA Knight ended up on Raw. I thought he was a SmackDown exclusive. Thought so too. I thought so too. I don't know either, bro. I have no clue. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Also, Raw SmackDown this Monday will be, I believe, in Montreal. So Cena will be there as well. So there's that as well. Cena will be on SmackDown this Friday. Damn, they're literally just throwing his dates away like this. Like they're running through his dates like water. We're about to, if we have not yet, we are about to hit single digits with how many dates Cena has left, which is insane when you think about it, right? So fucking insane when you think about it. But look, man, whether what Michael Cole said was true or not, look, man, am I ecstatic to see Brock back? Yeah, it was cool to see him back. Don't get me wrong, I got a pop. But at the end of the day, like, at this point, he's back. So also is factored in, there's reports that he was cleared by WWE's legal team like 4 weeks ago. Bro, Cena only has 12 left. They botched his retirement tour. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah, by having him show up to every single European city before WrestleMania. This is what they get by trying to do a European tour before the road to WrestleMania, before WrestleMania. You know, so there's that. This is what they get. But look, be that as it may, look, Brock is back. If you hate it, oh well. If you like it, oh well. It is what it is. You know, at the end of the fucking day. But at the end of the day, look, man, I don't know what they're gonna do. Am I excited to see Cena versus Brock? No, but I just know they're gonna play the hits. That's all I can tell you on that. But that being said, you know what? That is my overall thoughts on Monday Night Raw. I'll be honest, I really thought it was a big old disappointment, to be honest. Big old disappointment. Again, can you imagine being someone who went to SummerSlam, right, for both nights? And then you're like, you know what? Let me cap this off by the cherry on top by going to a Raw after SummerSlam. because I know it's going to be great. There's going to be a NXT main roster call-up like there was back in the day. None of that. None of that happened. In the mud. Completely in the mud. But let me know your thoughts, whether it be in the chat, whether it be in the comments, or let me know on social media with your thoughts on Raw as a whole. What did you like? What did you not like? Over at Heel Steven, or if not, over on AT Point Network. You can follow us there as well. If you've not checked out Chilling with Chase from early this morning, Chase was live here on the channel where he gave his thoughts on SummerSlam 2025, the fallout, Brock being back to WWE, Seth Rollins cashing in, and also his thoughts on Cody Rhodes being a two-time WWE champion. Chilling with Chase was live early this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. So make sure you guys go give that a watch and show it some love. Speaking of which, yesterday I was live on Steve's Kitchen where I gave my thoughts on Brock Lesnar coming back and my thoughts from SummerSlam from being there live. And I was also joined by the good brother Romeo, where he also gave his thoughts from being there live in the stadium with me, Walter, Walter's girlfriend. We all had a great time. Ate a lot, drank a lot. But it was a fucking fun time. And also, speaking of which, SummerSlam, Chase also was live at the conclusion of SummerSlam Night 2, SummerSlam Sunday, where he gave his honest review. So make sure you guys go give all those a watch. All right. Follow the Around the Point Network over on X at AT Point Network. Follow me on X at Heel Steven. I'll be back tomorrow with another live watch along of AEW Dynamite. Something about Dynamite, aka Sad. If you are a channel member, you get to join us for the watch along. All right. At least SummerSlam had great moments. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. All right. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Much love to all of you. You see the vision now? You got to see the vision. For myself, for the gang, this has been the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network. Peace out, y'all.